Whether you're feeling festive for football Sunday or supporting your favorite team, today I have a fun accessory not for the players but for the spectators. Hello friends, May Flom here for Dress It Up Buttons, and for this project you're going to want some felt. You're going to want our football buttons, some white embroidery thread, and a needle. Now my felt, I have a green piece of felt that has some iron-on adhesive backing, and then I have a gold piece of felt. Now you see the star drawn on there and you saw me shake those cookie cutters. I cut these out with a cookie cutter as my template. If you have an electronic cutting machine or die cutting machine and star templates or a different shape that you would like to use, you certainly can do that. I'm just showing you this, the very lowest of tech, just to remind you, you can often find some kind of a household item to use. So I am just cutting these out and I am not worrying about those lines on the back. It won't show on my green felt because I have iron-on material there. It will actually, the pen work will completely come off. So I'm layering green onto gold and I'm needing to go over to the ironing board real quick and I just need to press that. Now, if there's any little bits or pieces that you're not quite happy with, you can always take out a little pair of scissors and snip and clean it up if need be. Once that's done though, we're going to go ahead and press those together. So the iron-on material that I'm using is just a fusing adhesive, so it's heat activated. Once I've got that done, it's time to get things together. So I am very quickly, as you can see here, going through my buttons. Now the Go team is flat on the back, meaning I will need to glue that. So that's going to be last. I'm just kind of looking at where I think I want pieces to go, which buttons I think I'm going to use, and how I want to do this. Now, if you're wondering, well, what are you doing in the first place? Well, we are making a felt embellishment here that we are then going to put, you can put it on a barrette, you could put it on a pin, you could turn it into a necklace even if you would like. So this is meant as an accessory. Now I am using white embroidery thread there that I've got my needle and thread started. I tied a knot in one end on the loose ends, so I'm pulling it through. And that's how I'm starting my shank button, is to sew it through. Because I'm using the embroidery floss and it's several strands of thread. This means that we are not going to have to worry about it coming loose. I think it's 6 strands of thread in there that I've got right now. What I'm going to do instead is I'm inspired by the stitching on footballs, and I'm going to stitch all the way around. Now this step is actually not required. Because of that iron-on adhesive, I don't actually have to stitch these buttons on at all. It will hold things together. I just thought it would be a fun detail. I love the white stitching on footballs. I thought it would be super cute. I'm just checking to make sure I have room for my Go team before I commit and before I add my helmet button. So the 3 shank buttons, it's all the same. I'm just pulling up, going through the button, and then going back down. Now, if I am not satisfied or if I think I want a little more security, I am welcome to go through a second, even a third time, and it does not even have to be the same holes. You could go in different positions to really help secure that shank button down. Could you also cut off the shank and glue? Yes, you could. That would be another option. That's always an option. You just need a glue that will work on felt and fabric for this kind of a project. And the reason I said we're not worrying about the back is because when we are all done, we will actually be covering up the back with another piece of felt so that the back is all nice, and that's also going to help secure our buttons and our stitching. As you can see here, I'm still just going around. The fun thing about this project, it didn't actually take that long, and I just kind of used my nail to guide about where the stitches go, but for this particular one, I really did not concern myself with precise stitching. You can pre-mark if you want it to be very precise, or you can stitch right alongside or on top of a grid, a ruler, something like that. Now I mentioned we were going to cover up the back, so I have just kind of crudely cut my star shape, and then I ironed on the iron-on, I was talking about the iron-on fusible adhesive. Now what I'm doing, and what you can see me doing, is I am using a pair of scissors to cut around. So the iron-on adhesive is on our gold star, the back of it, and that's sealing in all that stitching. And then what I'm doing is going through and cutting with my scissors, cutting around the edge. And I'm also cutting off if there's any edges that I want to clean up on that gold star, or like I thought it was a little too much gold on one end. This is where I can trim that off. Our next to final step, I have some glue here. This is an adhesive I haven't used a lot, but is supposed to be good for this kind of a thing, all over the go and all over the team, and glue these down. The final step, the only other thing to do once you have glued this, is to decide. You can get lots of great bases at the craft store, at many different stores. Do you want to attach this to a hair barrette? Do you want to attach this to a pin that you can put on your shirt? Do you want to get some jump rings and turn this into a pendant? You've got lots of options to show your team spirit in your team colors. And I hope that I have inspired you today to get out there and get crafting for your favorite athlete or sport.